Hi guys, and welcome back to the Indie Hideout. Today we're going to be looking at a game called Baby Blues, and it's a horror mini game brought to us by Kumi. I hope I say that right. Who is it's a K Games, but he's a solo indie developer, and it's a completely free game. It's available on Desura, and there's a link as usual in the description below. Alright, so first off I need to own up to something, because the first time I played through the game, I found it very disappointing, and that wasn't because of the game, that was because it was my own fault really. And I'll tell you what I did. I didn't read the description properly, and I basically just for some reason read the part where it said, yeah, it's a game from this perspective of a 5-year-old child, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting, because there's obviously the amount of games where you play as a 5-year-old child is very, very limited, and it would be very interesting to see how the developer would bring his idea of the perception of a 5-year-old child to the player. And so I went into this game thinking about that and just making up loads of ideas in my head, like, oh, this will be really interesting to play. And it's actually a horror game. It's one of them mini horror games, like you know, that's all the rage now. So I was disappointed, because obviously I realised as soon as I started the game up and was presented with this. I got a weird one here. Oh my god, the sound is so fucking creepy on this game. Holy shit. Anyway, so straight off the bat I went into this game quite disappointed, which is completely unfair to the developer and the game itself, because it is a good game. It's not a bad game. It's not broken or anything. It's just I was disappointed because didn't read the description properly, which is my own fault, and you know, I should get a slap on the wrist for that. So I just wanted to kind of like admit to that first. And so what I did was I started it up again and I played again, knowing exactly what was going on. This is footage from my first playthrough. I didn't bother recording the second one. I only played it again to try and go in with the mindset, rather than just because on my first playthrough I was just moaning through the whole game about how disappointed I was, which is completely the wrong way to go about it. So this is the second playthrough. He plays a 5-year-old boy called Toby, I think, or Tommy. Let me go check my facts first. Yeah, Tommy, and he gets up in the middle of the night, and he goes out into the house with a map he's drawn, and he goes out and tries to find his teddy bears, which he's got 9 of them, the spoiled little brat. Yeah, so he goes out, tries to find his teddy bears in this creepy house in the middle of the night, and yeah, as you can see, some weird shit starts happening. You got your usual objects falling over, flying around the room and things like that. There's a few like really creepy things happen in it. I won't spoil them, obviously. There's a few like jump scares and things like that, but you know, it's to be expected in horror games. You're gonna have 1 or 2 jump scares. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Because I know a lot of people think, oh, jump scares, it's just a cheap cop out, and it's not when you really think about it. It's a genuine way of scaring the shit out of people, and it's got to be done well. You can do jump scares badly, but in this it's done quite well. If you're into these kind of horror games, and you're into your your paranormal and your Slendermans and things like that, then this is definitely worth going checking out, and it's completely free, so you know, no excuse, go check it out. On a scariness scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give it like a 7. It's not the scariest game I've played, and it's not the most atmospheric game I've played, but it still scared me from time to time. If it just goes off the main menu screen, Jesus Christ, that's the scariest main menu screen I've ever went on. The soundtrack on that is horrible. Don't know where you got that from, or if you just made it or something, but yeah, it's probably one of the scariest. A few problems I had with the game would have to be the level design. It struggled. I think I'd struggled to get immersed in the game from the level design. Just some things didn't make sense. At one point, I'm walking down a hallway and there's no windows anywhere, and there's like a lightning strike, and you see the lightning, and there's only one window in the entire game from what I could see, and that was the one we just saw a few minutes ago. And I was miles away from that when this lightning happened, so I was kind of like, could that happen? And then there was a chair in a dead end a hallway, just looking at a wall, and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know why that would be there either. It was just little things like that, little nitpicking things like that didn't immerse me in the game. But the main thing that I think I kind of let the game down quite a bit was the main character. It was kind of unique in the sense that you played as a 5-year-old child, but it wasn't utilized, if that makes sense. It wasn't utilized in the way I had hoped, because it just felt like you were running around a house as a midget in like a paranormal activity type game. So I think there's a lot more potential for horror, even in a horror setting, to play as a 5-year-old child. There's a lot of things that could have been done to make it more unique, but it just wasn't. It literally just felt like you were playing. I mean, you could press F and cry like a baby, but you know, that doesn't quite cut it, really. Let me give you an example of what I mean, because I think I'm communicating it very well. For example, like in this horror type setting, you could have a adult-sized figure who could be, I don't know, like just a shadow, or just or have like be faceless, or a misfigured face, to add to the horror, and it could chase you around the house from time to time while you're trying to hunt down your teddies, and if it caught you, it will put you back to bed and you'd have to start from there again, or it would be game over or something like that. And you could utilize the sound effect, because you're playing as a child. This figure would be huge compared to you, and it would its footsteps would make a lot of noise, so you could utilize the sound to create fear and stuff like that, and the anticipation of it being behind you and it's going to catch you, it's going to get you, and you could it also mean you would have to hide around the house as well and things like that. So it would open up this whole new thing, and it could be you could have a little debate about the Freudian undertone that's in the game, because you could see that was the father figure and thing like that. And that's what I was kind of expecting in the game, was something. Even though it was horror related, 5 years old with psychoanalysis is quite a creepy game. But none of that came about. But who knows? This could be the game that initiates that kind of start to go into more in depth, rather than just being another one of them horror games, as I would call it, just another one of them. But yeah, the developer could go forward and develop this idea, because this isn't the first game. This is like this is the finished product of this game that he's been working on. It's been off and things like that. So I did enjoy the game once I got over the initial disappointment. So I will be giving this a 4 out of 10 here at the Indie Hideout, and I would recommend, if these are the types of games you're into, then you should definitely go check this out. Completely free on Desura. Link in the description below. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and like, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.